Then, Dave, I will let you do the recap.
Can everybody hear me before I start?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes. Okay.
Great. Okay, our story began with three of our party waking up at the Red Chariot Inn, ran by a female dragonborn named of Earth. During breakfast, they were joined by a small brownie named Alric. After a brief introduction, they were gathered together by Chester, a semi-imposing form covered in full plate and a two-handed axe in his hands. He then gathered up everyone who was to be present at the day's ceremony to help give a blessing to a monument that's being constructed around the trunk of the Tree of Life at the heart of Marzel. After everyone was gathered at the centre of town, they were introduced to Lady Tandrin, a very small but feisty fairy. It was also at this point where our bard named Clark gave a rousing song about rebuilding. After the clapping and cheering died down, the Lady Tandrin gave a semi-long speech, then had everyone who was invited to give a blessing step forward. It was then that as soon as our party touched the monument that they all shared a vision, upon which they all saw each other die in the heart of an erupting volcano, and blackness took them. They then heard a small voice that said, "Please help her, help Rylara," and were sent back to their bodies and thrown to the ground. Clark's friend Lois was there when they came back, as well as Chester and a lot more guards. The party found out that they were locked in place for over 2 days and nothing that anyone could do would pry them away. Chester then took them to see Lady Tandrin to go over what they had seen. It was also about midnight when they came back to their bodies. When they got to Lady Tandrin at a newly constructed amphitheatre, they were attacked. The fight was short, but the devastation afterwards was more than anyone thought would happen. The amphitheatre was in tatters. As soon as Chester killed the last and largest of the creatures, a small red rock-like object fell to the ground. It looked like it had the image of antlers on it. No one, including a Lady Tandrin, knew what the symbol or rune was. The party was then sent to Alric's sisters' inn to bed down for the night and to figure out their next move. I think that's it.
Perfect. Thank you. And
You're welcome.
That's where we'll pick up on our way towards the Fae and the Fiddle Inn. It's about 2:30 in the morning. Did you guys want to do anything before you go to bed, or were you thinking of just going to bed?
Sleep. So, how much time has passed since we've woken up? Just a few hours.
Yeah, it's been about a good 2.5 hours since you guys first woken up from your vision that you were given at the monument, and then the fight, the investigation after, and then on your way home. So it's been a good 2.5 hours.
Because I might want something to eat before I go to bed. So I'm a little bit bigger than everyone else, if I could.
Your best option would be as soon as you hit the inn. There's going to be nobody awake. You'll probably have like one sleepy guard, like the overnight guard that's in the bar, but he just motioned to you to go to the kitchen and see what you can find and help yourself.
And that I will do.
Okay. On the way in there, Lois is going to hop in her Vardo. It's just at the side of the inn. She's still using that as her home. So she's going to say goodnight to everybody and hop in there and bed down. She's going to look at Clark and go, "Did you want to stay in your bunk here, or did you want to go to your room in the inn?"
I will join my fellows in the inn.
Okay. Well, you have a good night. It's been a rough day. Yep, I will see you guys in the morning. So there is one room for Kargath, and the other three are in Alric's room, just because you're all small. She's just put a couple cots in there. The inn is fairly busy because of the last few days. So the three of you will be sharing a room, and Kargath has his own.
And as Clark says goodnight to Lois, he will actually just fly up and and to the window of the room, open it, and just go in that way instead of going in the front door.
Nice. Okay. Now, since this is the first time you guys have seen this inn, I will give you a brief. Tell you what it's like. So, the Fae and the Fiddle. You can tell the inn is fairly new. Like it's not run down like the rest of the town. There's not as many. There's a few trees and vines in and around it, but not as much as in the city itself. It can hold up to about 100 people in the main room, and it has around 50 rooms for rent. You can tell this inn was built for a different variety of customers. Like the doors, some of the doors are 8 feet tall. There's small doors in the walls for like small cats to come through and other like small sentient creatures or animals to come through. There's a small stairs pretty much everywhere because this is run by brownies who are 2 feet tall. So they have their own little access ports in areas. When you come across any of the tables, there's steps up to the table so they can, serve and talk, stuff like that. In the rafters, you'll also find a bunch of nests for anyone who has like familiars or pets or just random birds that show up. There's also a very large garden just off the kitchen. And if you will notice in the daytime that there is a full-time pixie out there as the gardener. She does care more about her plants than anything or anyone else. You probably will meet her in the morning. And that's the Fae and the Fiddle. So, who is going straight to sleep? Sorry.
Oh, definitely me.
Okay, if everyone's going to bed, I believe, Kargath, you have the rune in your possession, do you not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. I'm going to take you to a secret room. So we will be right back.